Of all the Simpsons voices that you do, which one is the most obscure?
Well, I think Dr. Marvin Monroe, because they killed him off.
See, that's so obscure I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, he was a family therapist, and early in The Simpsons, the family would go to him from time to time, and the joke was he was a family therapist. He was sort of supposed to calm their roiling disputes, and he had a voice like sandpaper dipped in sulfuric acid. And he was a big fat guy with a lot of big movements, so it was anything but soothing presence. And I would do him from time to time. Since he was supposed to have this gravelly, irritating voice, of course, he was very irritating to do. Nonetheless, I was disappointed when I found out about his demise, and in probably the least considerate way, I was watching one of the Halloween episodes, Treehouse of Horror, and they always start with a shot going through a graveyard, and one of the gravestones had Dr. Monroe's name on it, and that's how I learned they'd killed him off.
Well, that's interesting. Can you do the voice? Because I don't remember his voice.
Yeah, Dr. Marvin Monroe sounded like this.
No wonder.
Yes.
Well, you were probably glad to see that guy.
I was!
So which of the voices you still do then puts as much pressure on your voice?
Otto, the school bus driver.
Why?
Because he's big down here, he's kind of gruff. You don't think I'm going to have to do this for 23 years. If you did, you'd think, well, let's make this a little easier on my voice.
I've been interviewing you for a long time, and every time I interview, I always ask you the same question. How long can this go on?
Uh-huh.
How long can this go on?
Until you stop interviewing me, obviously. I bet I told you this before, that my supposition was that we would be on the air until Fox found another comedy hit for 8 o'clock, which meant another 57 years. I think from the standpoint of just having started season 23, it's a conservative bet that they at least want to get 25 in. That's sort of a landmark. That's, one can guess, will never be duplicated. Beyond that, I don't know.
I know they're just voices, but after 22 years, do you grow fond of any of them?
I'm fond of them because I've helped to create them. I don't have quite I don't inhabit them quite in the same way that I do, say, a character that I do visually, like Derek Smalls, and whom I've helped. I have a much larger role in the creation of. But yeah, I mean, I think C. Montgomery Burns is about the cutest, thoroughly evil person I've ever encountered, I know a lot of thoroughly evil people. I'd rather spend time with him, probably.
And you talk about how you don't, with Derek Smalls, of course, you created that, but you are the one that comes up with these voices.
Oh, yes.
He tells you what to do.
Yes. No. In the early days when we'd originate all these characters, those of us in the cast, we didn't see the drawings first. We'd just see like a little one-line description of the character as they were first introduced into a script. And for me, I don't know about anybody else, I just made the most kind of intuitive, non-thoughtful leap, oh, he sounds like this, and make a noise and figure, okay, if that's not good, they'll tell me to stop, and if they don't tell me to stop, I'll keep doing it.
Do you remember what the one-line description was for Mr. Burns?
I don't remember exactly, but it was, Homer's boss runs the power plant, very old, very miserly, might have even used the word evil, I don't know.
Have the voices changed over the years? If I heard Mr. Burns from like the original shows, would he sound different from now?
Season 1, Mr. Burns sounded different. I don't think most of the others really have changed that much. I know Dan's Homer changed from season 1 to season 2. Season 1, I watched it, but by the time season 2 came around, it had been a while since I'd seen the shows. So I did what I thought was the same voice, but he'd obviously migrated a little bit to where I guess he wanted to be. So yeah, it sounds a little different. I mean, it wasn't a change made deliberately or because it was, easier or anything like that. It was just, when I came back to it, it just seemed like that was him.
Yeah, just refined it. So Is there any way to compare the two so we could hear the difference?
Oh, God, for me to do it now? I can't remember exactly how the original one sounded. I think he just was a little lower, and he didn't have as much of this evil quality implicit in the delivery that he does now. He's easier to read now as an evil person.
No,
don't you think? Don't you think?
Yes,
Pay
I do.
attention.
Yes, what? Yes, I do. Yes, I do.